So those ones actually contribute to absorption of specific light here, okay? And especially in the thylakoid, here, a specific combinations of those contributes to absorption of this light, and also photosystem 1, they have this light absorption, okay? So when the light gets absorbed, then electron gets pumped up, okay? So that gets the energy, and then that gets transported along the electron transport chain here, okay? So as it does that, it pumps up the proton from this space to here, and then that actually creates the proton gradient. Is that right? Okay. And also, so this gets transported to the next photosystem, and this absorbs light again, and that gets pumped up, and electron actually uses its own energy to produce NADPH from NADP+. Okay. So this is going to be the final electron acceptor of the electron transport chain in the light reaction. Okay. Also, other than NADPH, also out of the proton gradient that's formed from the electron transport, this goes down the gradient through the ATP synthetase, rotating it to produce ATP from the ADP. Okay, so the final product of the first step is actually O2, NADH, NADPH, and then NAATP. Okay, so this is NADPH. NADPH. Okay, and ATP. All right, and these two actually get sent to the next step, which is a light-independent cycle, which is called Calvin cycle. Okay, so before we look at that, let's look at a detailed picture for the light-dependent reaction. Okay. All right, so before we look at the detailed picture, okay, when you look at this introductory part again, all right, so we only talked about the first step here. All right, so here what happens is they take in H2O and they produce O2 as a result of hydrolysis. Also, sunlight actually gets absorbed to the thylakoid, and as a result of the electron transport chain, NADPH and ATP gets produced. Okay, and that gets sent to the light-independent reaction, which is called Calvin cycle. Okay, so if we look at the light-dependent reaction, then this is a photosystem 2, photosystem 1, okay? And then in between these two, there is an electron transfer chain here, okay? So, and then at the end, there is an ATP synthase, okay? So what happens is, first of all, at the first photosystem, which is photosystem 2, light energy gets absorbed, okay? And that energy actually gets used to excite this electron up. Okay, so electron actually gets the energy, and then electron gets transported along this chain. Okay, so since this electron contains energy, as it goes through the transfer chain, it pumps up the proton. Okay, and then when the reaction center here is empty, then this is going to fill up the hole by hydrolyzing H2O to O2 and H+. Okay, so that another electron comes in here, and then next time light energy comes in, this gets excited again, and then goes on and on and on. Okay, so then this goes to the next photosystem, and then light energy gets absorbed here. Okay, then this electron actually gets transported to produce overall NADPH. Okay, also these proton gradient that's produced along the electron transfer chain actually goes down the gradient again, okay, to produce ATP out of the ATP synthetase. Okay, so as a result of light-dependent reaction, O2, NADPH, and ATP gets produced. Okay, and these two actually proceeds to the second stage of reaction, which is called light-independent reaction. All right, so this is the second step to the photosynthesis, okay? So after the first step where NADPH and ATP gets produced, these two actually goes to the stroma space, okay? So here in the stroma, what happens is they take in CO2, okay, through the hole, okay, through the stomata on the surface of a leaf, okay? So CO2 is actually taken into the leaf surface, leaf space, okay, and that goes into the chloroplast where the stroma is existent, okay. And then CO2 actually goes into the Calvin cycle. This is a carbon fixation step.